To honor these remarkable individuals, the Chamber established the Joseph P. Riley Leadership Award in 1992. It's named after one of our region's most notable and popular leaders, Big Joe Riley. That's Mayor Joe's father, and Mayor Joe won the award a few years ago. This leadership award recognizes an outstanding volunteer who has demonstrated a lifetime of leadership and strives to make our community a better place to live, work, and do business. The recipients of this award are dedicated to serving and strengthening the Charleston community, and there is no one better that has done that than our award recipient tonight.
And they were talking about this guy that I didn't know, and who is this guy you were talking about? And she knew I was from the city, I was from downtown. And she said, oh, he's a guy who West Ashley, you haven't met him, you don't know him. And I said, oh, I hope I never get to meet him. But 42 years later, 3 children, beautiful grands, a good business, so I did meet him.
He used to take me to football games with him, to University of South Carolina football games. That was like the highlight of my year. A young child knowing when football season started, and I was going to go to the games with Dad, so it was fun.
Keith still opens the door for me. He still opens the car door for me. He still brings me flowers.
Family is definitely one of the most important things to my dad. Outside of family, the number one thing that's most important to my dad is honesty.
He grew up in a household where his father and mother were setting an example that you have a duty to be a giver. His example of goodness and community interest and service was instilled in Keith Berry at a young age.
He's devoted much of his free time, if you will, or his life outside of his employment circumstances to doing things that I think he believes are beneficial to the community.
He's a huge community resource, has helped advance this community substantially in so many ways.
And he says, I work for the people. This is not his seat, it's not his district, it's what he does for the people that voted him in office. And it makes him proud to serve, but also proud because he knows that it makes his dad happy.
He wants Charleston to be the very best that it can be. Because this is where he wants to live, he wants to raise his kids and grandkids, and this is where his family is.
Caring, wise, dedicated people can change the course of history and make things happen. And that's the value of Keith Berry.
His legacies will be involvement in and devotion to his community.
Everybody who knows him knows he's a hard worker, he loves his family, he's got deep faith, and he's a really funny guy. So that would be his legacy.
He's a family man. You just look around at his family and his friends. That'll be his legacy.
I didn't pray for a good husband. This is true. I prayed for a good father for my children. And it turns out that I got a pretty good deal.
Keith, congratulations on receiving the Joseph P. Riley Leadership Award. No one could be more deserving of this award, and I am so proud of you.
Dad, congratulations. I'm very proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. Thank you for what you've done for us, your family. Thank you for what you've done for the community, and one day I hope to be like you.
Keith, congratulations on this honor. I can't think of anyone more deserving. I certainly appreciate your friendship, your love for me and my family, your mentorship for my 2 boys, and all that you've done for our family, but more importantly, important what you've done in this community. It's great.
Keith, congratulations. A more deserving person could not have been selected for this honor.
Hey Dad, I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. Congratulations on receiving the Joseph P. Riley Senior Award. I personally can't think of anybody who's more deserving of it than you. I love you so much. I'm so proud that I get to call you my dad.
Congratulations on being honored on receiving this award. I know you were not expecting it, but I think it's well deserved. And I love you.
The Joseph P. Riley Award goes to Keith Warren.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Keith has been so much of his career dedicated to strengthening the Charleston community. As I mentioned, he was on the board of the Chamber of Commerce from '96 to 2012 and served as chair in 2002-03. And obviously currently serves as the Charleston City Council member representing District 7. But what you may not know is this is the same district his father served as council member for and that Keith grew up in. Keith tries to live his life by the motto, always give honor to God, have an abiding love for family, and have enormous respect for the community. And there is no doubt that he succeeded. Please, once again, join me in welcoming our 2017 Joseph P. Riley Leadership Award recipient, Keith Ware.
These guys cheated. When you speak about my family, it's like kryptonite to Superman. You know, I heard Gwen, my lifelong friend, Tom Murray's wife or bride, say, "Give me the Kleenex." And I started to go over there and share that Kleenex with her. Bill Moody told me I was going the wrong way, but I wanted to hug everybody in the room. This is a special chamber. This is a special community. Volunteering is something that has to be taught. And my grandmother and grandmother, even during the days of segregation, were huge volunteers in our community. My mother and father, very active during the Civil Rights Movement. You picture this, they had 5 little kids. My father used to kid about having a basketball team. We would go marching in the Civil Rights Movement. I think I was like 9 or 10 years old. I said, "Keith, where you going?" "I'm going marching." I said, "What you marching from?" "I'm marching for my rights." I said, "What kind of rights?" "I don't know, but I'm going marching." Obviously, following my parents. God, family, community has never failed. It's never failed me. This chamber, when I first got involved with the chamber, lifelong, not lifelong, but certainly the remainder of my life, Lynn Hutchison asked me to serve on the chamber board. Told me all of the bullet points. So I was contemplating it. And then Dr. James E. Brown, who happens to be the, I don't know if he was the first African American on the board, but if he wasn't the first African American on the board, it certainly didn't take long to call the roll. He stopped by my office and he asked me to serve on the chamber board. And I told Dr. Brown, I said, Dr. Brown, and I respected Dr. Brown, please believe me, he was a mentor to many of us. I said, Dr. Brown, I don't have time to leave my business to go and volunteer at the chamber. And that was before leaning forward became popular. Dr. Brown leaned forward and put his index finger on my desk and said just like this, Waring, you do not have time not to volunteer at the chamber. The things that you will find out there, you will find out nowhere else in this town. Dr. Brown was right, Lynn Hutchison was right, and I was wrong. I joined the chamber. At one of my first early meetings at the chamber, a small business person, now this, what I'm about to tell you wasn't on the agenda item. When you think of chamber, you think of dollars, cents, profit, loss, red, black. Our chamber is far more than that. The subject of taking the flag, at that time the Confederate flag was on the dome, the Capitol Dome in Columbia. A small business person, Julian Buxton, who did ghost tours, brought up the issue of cancellations, and he was losing revenue. What are we going to do about this flag issue? That conversation bubbled up. We had about 34 members in the room. Long story short, motion was made to take a stand to bring the flag down. And remember, chamber's supposed to be conservative, right? The vote was 33-1. And the one who voted against wasn't necessarily against it. He just wanted to try to poll the membership first. And I could tell you that chamber was in me for life after that. As a small business person, it's hard to be effectual with change as one. Now, Bill Moody and I know in City Council, we have a body of 13. If you got one vote, you're in trouble. You got to get to 7. There happened to be 3 African Americans on that board. Wilbur was one. My being another one, my mind right now escapes me on the third, but the vote was 33-1. So our business community has led on huge issues that as an individual or 1 or 2 people, you just simply can't do. I noticed the gentleman and representative from Bosch, and thank you so much for being in our community. But when it comes to recruiting industry into this area, I had the pleasure of serving on the Regional Development Alliance, which has that responsibility. Our schools were in such deplorable condition, physically. We had 77 of them in this county. And the business community at the time didn't think we should be involved. But where does the future workforce come from? It's the generation that's in school today. Our chamber got involved, even though the mindset on our school board was such that if any of y'all familiar with 75 Calhoun Street, our school board, a couple of our school board members would refer to that as the Taj Mahal. It's a C+ office building, at best. Well, City owns it, so it's better than C+. Now, last year's recipient, Brian Moody, we all love and respect him and miss him. Recently, they planted a tree in Brian's honor on the West Ashley Greenway. And family and friends were around, and everybody had a little testimony and Brianisms, as we would say. Well, when it came around to me, I said, you know, Brian had $1 billion impact on this community. And the people who were never involved with this chamber who were there, and there were some chamber people there, but those who had not been in the room, such as you all, have had the pleasure. $1 billion, nobody has $1 billion. I got a couple of looks like that back, and I said, well, I can prove it to you. Brian was instrumental in creating the synergies in the business community and the school board to changing the mindset of needing to invest in our schools. We had a $350 million bond referendum that failed, and a no new tax crowd won. Well, since that time, over the last 15 years, and this is a fact, you can look this up, this community, led in part, a large part, by this chamber, has generated $1.4 billion to be invested in our facilities of education in just our public schools. But for the chamber, but for volunteers, like you saw, I sat in my chair and I saw all the bright, good-looking people that came up on the stage. And I said to myself, the relay continues. There are a lot of past chairs in this room. I got to call out some of my guys, and I'll be wrong, but Dick Elliott, not in this room, but I served as his chair-elect, and because Peter Werdeman is in this room, he served as my chair-elect. And a guy, when we were trying to raise money to bolster the chamber's finances, we had something called a Total Resource Campaign, and a guy walked in with a nice blue suit, red tie, and had a basketball on his head, and I said, that's my guy named Ron Jones. But when it came to raising money, how do you raise $1.4 billion when the community told you no on $350 million? You have to identify the problem and explain to people how they can help, and that's what this chamber led the way in. The Ravenel Bridge, when that bridge opened, it's a $600 million bridge. The taxes, the half-cent sales tax that it took to build that bridge, this chamber led that charge. When that bridge opened, the highway department had to gauge the traffic. People just wanted to ride over it and ride back. They had no place to go, so they just rolled over the bridge and they came back. We were proud of that investment in our region, and we're still proud today. Ropus and Francis had a fundraiser, a dinner on top of the bridge before they cut the ribbon. When you volunteer in this community, there is no I. It is we. And that's when we're the stronger, whether tragedy or hurricanes. Who didn't feel a sense of pride when we saw Charleston strong after one of the worst tragedies that ever visited our town and certainly this nation at Mother Emanuel? Who didn't feel good when we said the Unity Link across that Ravenel Bridge? That's the strength we have in this community. Now I'm rolling on, but there are always big issues. I know you're not concerned about traffic, but this chamber is leading the way on 526. We had a great CEO in Charles Van Rijsselberg that taught us all how to, we thought we were volunteering, but you had to go to another level. That baton has been passed to Brian, and Brian is getting all of us to reach higher. It's not popular to fight for 526. It's not going to be popular to fight for the money to help out with our flooding. We have a huge problem with flooding, and it is going to be, that's not hyperbole, it is going to cost over $1 billion to help fix it. It's not going to fix it entirely. But you know what? We can do it. We put a man on the moon and brought him back safe. And to prove it, we did it time over and again. And so I know you think I'm going to ramble up here and I'm going to forget about my wife, but I am not going to do that. Now, we're Catholic. I sometimes I say I get this from my friend Arthur McFarlane. I'm a Baptist. I'm going to enunciate that again. I'm a Baptist. My daddy is a Baptist and my mom's Catholic. So I went to both. And so if you happen to be African American and Catholic, you have Protestant roots. So in our church, we stand up, we sit down, we stand up, we kneel, and we get back up again. And this is the first time she's hearing this. But we get to pray together on our knees every Sunday. And while I'm praying next to my bride, the prayer I thank God for is thank you for bringing a Christian lady into my life to be the love of my life, the mother of my children, and my friend forever. Thank you very much.
Before we welcome Mark back on the stage, we got another special announcement very quickly. Your man, quote, Ron Jones, has a special announcement. Ron can come up.
Let me a basketball.
Donna, I want a picture with that afro.
Don't knock this rope.
Keith, this is a very special time for me, too. On behalf of the Charleston Metro Chamber of Commerce and the past chairman of the chamber, it is my honor and privilege to announce the creation of a scholarship in honor of Perry Keith Waring to be awarded to the Career Academy graduate from the Charleston region. The scholarship will cover 1 year's tuition at Trident Technical College, that gem of this beautiful place. The funds for the scholarship were raised solely by the contributions of your colleagues, the Chamber's past chairs, many of whom are here tonight. We surpassed our goal, allowing additional funds to go to AGC2's scholarship program, so the remainder of that money will go there. We all the past chairs felt, that this scholarship was the appropriate way to say thank you for your many years of dedication and commitment to advocating for the region's education system and its students. I can personally think of nothing better or more fitting way to honor and thank you for all your many efforts. So congratulations, Keith, and thank you for your hard work and devotion to the Charleston region.
Mark, with hands up.